Hey, what up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you with the last match that was added to the SummerSlam 2015 Spectacular with the Monday Night Raw show this week. This, of course, is going to be the Tag Team Spectacular. It's going to be a fatal four-way with your champions, the primetime players, coming in against your former champions. New Day, and then you're also going to have Los Matadores, and you're also going to have... oh shit, who the hell is the last team? The Lucha Dragons. All I knew is it wasn't the Ascension. God, I fucked that up big time. But honestly, this seems like the match that they always add to WrestleMania at the last minute, just trying to make sure that they get everyone onto the card. I know that it seems like, every couple of years they really want to make the tag team division really mean something. But when it comes down to it, the WWE really has something right now with a New Day. I think that, a few months ago, WrestleMania time, everyone hated these guys. You might be a fan of Kofi Kingston. You might be a fan of Biggie Langston. You might be a fan of Xavier Woods. But not many guys were fans of the trio. I've never really connected with Kofi. I really hope Biggie Langston becomes a real big success in the WWE. I really see him more as a guy, going after singles championships and being in this tag team. But it does add a new layer to Biggie Langston, and it has really cracked the shell on him, bringing more out of his personality. And a lot of times, wrestlers say in order to really find success in wrestling, you have to find a character that's more of yourself. And I think the person that we have right now with Biggie in A New Day is a little bit more of a characterized, tuned up version of who he is if you were hanging out with him backstage. Xavier Woods is the guy, that I got to know a little bit with the Chris Jericho podcast. And I've been watching his Up, Up, Down, Down videos on YouTube, which gets me a little bit interested in this guy and really wanting to see where he's going. I've been rooting for this guy to get out of developmental for a while because I thought he was really good when he was in TNA, and just all of a sudden out of the middle of nowhere they gave up on him. And I thought it was cool that WWE gave him a chance and brought him into developmental. Turning out from the Jericho podcast, it was him going to WWE and going to NXT to get a job there and just work his way up to the main roster. WWE didn't even call him. He says he just showed up with a resume in hand, and that's how he got picked up. When it comes down to the tag team division, I think that there's good matches in WWE every now and then, but they're just put in these segments that just don't really mean anything. When I went to that house show in Stockton, there was a three-way match between the Ascension, it was the Ascension, the Lucha Dragons, and the El Matadors, and I thought it was a good match. The Matadors weren't in it for that long, but I've always been a real big fan of tag team wrestling, going back to the glory days of the 80s when there was tons of teams, and it just seems like now, with the injuries that are going around, the Usos are rumored to be coming back sooner than later, the Wyatt brothers with Luke Harper and I'm just not in the game today. Eric Rowan, both of these guys, coming back, and I'm guessing that they're both going to be in the Wyatts as soon as Eric Rowan is up to speed. The Lucha Dragons are always a fun, really exciting team. Every time you see them, they're always trying to do something that you've never seen them do before, to get a great pop out of the crowd. But when it comes down to it at the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam, I'm hoping that they right their wrongs and they put the titles back on A New Day. I don't want to see them do what they do with so many tag teams where they go on a good little run and then they just get buried to the back of the pack and they go with a new team for a few months and then you just don't really see them at all. A lot of talent in these guys. I think they should be pushed up to the top. And exactly what they did with the Money in the Bank show. Make some of these shows where Kofi's fighting in singles matches and Biggie and Xavier are in tag matches. They don't have to be just singled out to the tag team division. All three of these guys can work. And I want to see a whole lot more from them in the future. But it's at SummerSlam, New Day, taking the titles. Big tag team match coming from WB at SummerSlam 2015. The tag team division never really finds a way to really become mainstream in WB. But as of right now, the New Day with Kofi Kingston, Biggie Langston, and Xavier Woods, they are one of the top acts in WWE as far as what people are talking about, what's buzzing, what's the highlight of Raw, what's the highlight of SmackDown. It's always what the New Day is coming up with. They were a really big hit on the Chris Jericho podcast, talking about the group coming together as a whole, how they became a team, basically what the writing team thought of the team, what their plans were when they first got together, and where they are now. You can think of a few months ago, with Biggie Langston and Xavier Woods at Money in the Bank, defending the tag team titles, as well as Kofi Kingston in the Money in the Bank match itself. That's probably the highlight of the New Day, being able to have a singles match as well as having a tag match defending the titles. I believe that the New Day, there is more life in them, and easily I will start out the video by telling you they are my prediction to win this match. They have to win this match. It has to be able to get done. When you look at who they're going against, the tag team titles are on the primetime players as of right now, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. Their acts that are behind them basically are the Matadors and the Lucha Dragons. I think that honestly, the Lucha Dragons are a future force in the tag team division with Hunico and with... no, I already fucked this up. It's Kalisto and Sin Cara, who used to be Hunico. I think that these guys are really great wrestlers. They're a really great team. They bring a lot of high energy to their matches, whether if it's on SmackDown or whether if it's on Monday Night Raw. They're always a very, very fun tag team. They shot through NXT. They won the titles. They lost the titles. The next thing you know, they're debuting on Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania. They didn't get a lot of fanfare about an NXT person being called up. But, they're really going to work if they stay in the tag team division. Hopefully they don't split these guys up in order to have this dream match of Mask versus Mask, which has been talked about since WrestleMania 27, of Rey Mysterio against Sin Cara, which finally happened at Triple Mania at the main event of that show. I could see Vince McMahon, basically having a hard-on at the desk, thinking about what's going to happen at WrestleMania and saying, I know, we'll split these guys up and put them against each other. We'll break that, Los Angeles Dodger. No, it was the Angels. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim record of most people wearing a mask in one place at one time. But when you look at the Matadors, they're a great, dependable tag team. They always find a way to have good matches. I will honestly tell you that I don't even know what their names are as the Matadors. When they're in there, I just call them the Matadors. I still call them Epico and Primo. I still can't tell which one's Epico. I can't tell which one's Primo. I think that they had big ideas a few years ago when this team came up, of them, bringing up the Bull, and what the Bull was going to be able to do. I mean, he has fun at house shows. At that show I went to last month in Stockton, he was bouncing around the ring, and the Matadors got eliminated pretty early during the match because one of them was talking to the WWE security guard and forgot to pay attention to the match. White's guy got rolled up for the pin. But, from there, the Lucha Dragons and the Ascension continue to have a great tag team match. They had a lot of fun. But definitely when it comes to SummerSlam here, we want some New Day. We want some New Day. New Day's got to get it done here. Primetime players are great champions. They should have been champions a long time ago. Primetime players, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, were over at SummerSlam. I think it was 2013, and then, somewhere along the way, they got hurt, they got split up. They thought Titus O'Neil was going to be a great single star, and he just became one of the dorks that was doing run-ins, trying to break up fights on Monday Night Raw. You can really tell your spot on the card if there's going to be everybody out of the back trying to break up a fight inside of the ring, and you're one of the guys that WWE tells you to go out there. I know that like Kevin Owens and Sheamus and Cesaro were the guys that were out there trying to break up the fight between Undertaker and Brock Lesnar on Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago. But, Titus was one of those dorks that was involved in, the main event of Monday Night Raw, the entire Raw roster against Randy Orton, something stupid like that. You want to make sure that you're not featured in that match if you're trying to become a star. But they didn't pull the trigger on Titus. They like the way he is. He won the Father of the Year competition and things like that. But it's got to be New Day. New Day's getting the win. They're my pick.